Hey, Ray Del Vecchio here from websiteprofitcourse.com. Now, as a web designer, I use Photoshop for pretty much all of my photo editing tasks. I've been using it since college, and about a week ago, for the first time, I used Generative Fill, which that's the new feature that uses AI to create content out of a description. So let me show you what I did, and we'll test out a couple scenarios here. Now, my idea for this came from my couch because my throw pillow covers started getting holes in them. I had to throw them out. I was looking at a product on Amazon which has like 30 different color choices. So I just wanted to visualize what some of these might look like. So if you go into your photo and you use the marquee tool to select an area, you'll get the toolbar down here where you can just click Generative Fill and then put in your description. And I'm just going to put 2 lumbar throw pillows, beige in color. And then each time you do this, it generates 3 variations, which you're going to see up here in the right panel. And we should have our results in just a few seconds here. Now, I got both good and bad results when I was using this. So this one, I asked for 2, but it gave us 3. So you can see how good of an idea this gives you. And then this is option number 2. It's a slightly lighter color and a smaller pillow. So let me do 1 or 2 more variations of this. And I'm just going to add long to this description. 2 long lumbar throw pillows. And then let me choose maroon and see what this looks like. It's still giving us 3 here. And then it looks like options 2 and 3, they pretty much just matched my existing pillow, corduroy style, and made it brown. So you can see this is not perfect, especially if you're trying to mix something in with an existing picture. Now, what I want to test next is generating a full image. So I'm going to go to just a blank canvas over here, select this entire canvas, and it does a pretty good job if you're describing some type of scenery. In here, I'll do a beach with the ocean in the background and long grasses in the foreground with a blue sky and sun. I'm interested to see how this one turns out. And I know with ChatGPT, oh, there you go. So yeah, I mean, that looks amazing. And in ChatGPT, you notice that the quality of your answer is really a matter of how descriptive your prompt is. And I'm guessing it's the same thing with this. I'm still just wrapping my head around how to use this. It's really a fun toy, and if you can figure out how to use this within your processes, it can really speed up your productivity. So this is option number 2 and option number 3. I mean, these are all pretty similar. Let me do one more. Snowy mountain forest with a frozen lake on a snowy night with the moon. Now, this is funny because it looks really good, but we got 3 light sources. This back here, which, maybe that's the sun, but you got 2 moons up here, the full moon and a partial moon. So you may have to edit what they give you if you want to make it realistic. There's also some glitches here in the moon. Let's see what the second option is. With this one, the moon is actually closer than the mountains. So that's interesting. And then we got option number 3. Oh, and I accidentally clicked on this 3-dot icon up here, but you can see that you can give them feedback on what's good and what's poor. So this is obviously, one of the first versions. In about 2 or 3 years, I'm sure it's going to be way better. And this one also has a funky moon. But the forest and the mountains, they look good. Now, for this next example, I want to do something related to social media because I was looking through a couple company social media profiles just for one of my clients, doing some research. And I noticed that they all were posting something with a Halloween pumpkin bucket. Once again, I'll select this entire area and I'll keep this simple. Just Halloween pumpkin bucket sitting on a mowed lawn. Now this one took that literally and it's giving us pumpkins and a bucket. So I probably should have put a candy bucket or something like that. But either way, this is actually a good photo. I mean, this looks like it was set up in real life. If you were a company, you could just insert something into this, like your logo or whatever, and use this as a social media post. Looks like the second variation gave us what we wanted. The third variation, they gave us more of a bucket shape with the pumpkin face. You got a funky handle here. I don't even know it's connected. And the last thing I want to show you here is a picture of my face because I was doing some editing with just a YouTube thumbnail that I was creating, and it gave me some funny faces. So I'm just going to select the bottom half of my face and type in clean shaven, chiseled jaw. And some of these look so funny. I mean, they are not that good with generating people. People look like they have third appendages or like 6 fingers. It's almost like a horror show when you tell this to generate people. And look at this. I did cleanly shaven and they gave me facial hair and it looks terrible. And I'm smoking a little vape pen or something. And I have like a single tooth kind of popping out here. Let's see what these other variations are. And this one gave me a full beard. So it's not really using the clean shaven. And I'm actually speechless right now. I have no clue what the hell that is. So we're going to just pretend that never happened. That's horrible. Holy. So let me go back to the original photo. I'm going to generate a top half, and we're going to put these together and see what it looks like. So for this one, I'm going to ask for a red hat with a surprised face. And let's see if we get something horrifying. So this one, they gave me a red fedora, and the eyebrows highly raised right there. Same thing on this one. And I'd say that this one probably looks the most realistic. Let me move this here, and this is my composite face, AI generated. What do you think about this for a YouTube thumbnail? So you can clearly see there are a few versions away from being able to generate people in a photorealistic way. But when it comes to background stuff or physical items, I think you could do a lot better with that. And on that note, let me see if I can edit a few things in the background here. The first thing I'll try and do is see if I can get a fire. So I will hit M for the marquee tool. And I'll type in insert fire within this existing brick fire pit. And this first variation looks pretty cartoonish, and it inserted like a little bench or something up at the top there. Let's see what our other variations did. In this one, we got a fire, but we also have a little cup of water, a mug. And the third one has another cartoonish style fire with an upright log. So my guess is when you select an area that has a lot of variation and isn't a really clear object like a face, what's generated in that area is also a little bit crazy. So let me just get rid of this fire layer, and I'm going to select this backdrop, and I'll see if I can insert an evergreen tree. So my prompt here will just be evergreen spruce tree to make it more specific. And that doesn't look too bad. It's a little bit blurry. Kind of the same thing with variation number 2. But the foliage itself looks fairly realistic. Let's see if we can do the same over here. I'll see if I can insert a rose bush. And I'm going to keep this prompt simple, just to those 2 words, rose bush. And it did a nice job of matching my house and the mulched area, but it's not blending in the rose bush naturally. And this last one is just a huge petal. So you really got to play around with the prompts to get exactly what you're looking for. Let me get rid of these last couple of things that we generated. I'll trash these layers. I'm going to merge all these layers. And then I'll use the Photoshop Remove Background tool. And it did a nice job of that. And then let me hide this. And I'll generate a background from scratch. I think that's what I'm going to end up using for the YouTube thumbnail. So I'll select the entire area. So for this, I'm asking for a backyard vegetable garden in the summer countryside. So I like this, a lot more greenery. Let me show my face layer, and I got to bring that to the top. And then let me go back to this generative fill and check out the other variations. So it looks like it did pretty much the same kind of style on each of these. And I'll move myself over a little bit. And there we go. So I hope this gives you a good idea of how to use generative fill. If you end up using it for something cool, leave it in the comments below. Now, as I mentioned, I use Photoshop for web design. I'm not a graphic designer. And if you're interested in learning how to create a website, I highly recommend using WordPress as your platform. That gives you the most design freedom. You can check out my free WordPress training from websiteprofitcourse.com/WP101. Or if you already have skills to freelance, you can check out my free cheat sheet, 15 tools to start your web design business. That kind of gives you my infrastructure for how I manage all my client websites. You can check that out on my homepage, websiteprofitcourse.com. And all of these links will be in the description below, so check them out there. Last but not least, make sure you give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. And be sure to subscribe to my channel so you get all future tutorials when they come out. As always, I appreciate it if you made it this far. And I'll link up a few other videos here if you want to keep on learning.